I believe we're good. Let me know in the chat if we're good. I'm doing this through my phone, so yeah, it's been a long time since I've done a stream through my phone and everything. But welcome. If you are here, if you're here at the stream, welcome. We're going to be talking about, obviously, in the title, the Michael Jackson biopic. We're going to be talking about the trailer. We're going to be talking about just Michael Jackson in general, just his impact on the world, our favorite songs, some things we'd like to see in the biopic, or maybe even some things we'd like to see the estate do in the future after the biopic. I guess it's just going to be a stream where we just talk about a bunch of different topics. So I want to welcome everybody in. If you are here, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm seeing the comments. Let's see who do we got here? We got Patrick. Welcome. Sheesh. Yeah. We're doing it, man. We're doing it. Nostalgic times. What's up? We're good. Okay. Hee hee. That's what's up. So yeah, I'd say we could maybe wait for a little bit more people to come in, but I'm sure people will come in during the conversation. So we'll get started. So obviously, the big obvious thing of today, the biopic. All right. This biopic has been in the works for years, right? A long time, like I think 12 years, I think. So, a very long time. There's been talks about a Michael Jackson biopic. We've had some Michael Jackson movies in the past, but nothing on the scale of this spectacle. And so it's been talked about for a long time. We had people who believed it, people who didn't believe it, people who thought it was going to happen, people who thought it wasn't ever going to happen, until we finally got confirmed that Antoine Fuqua is going to be directing the film, and you have Graham King, a part of the Bohemian Rhapsody crowd, and all that. So things started to sound nice, but it was still one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you can get a director, you can get a writer, you can get a producer, and all that, but still, it doesn't mean that the movie's going to ever happen. Until we started getting set photos, we started getting filming, and all that good stuff. And then that's when it started to set in like, oh, wow, they're doing this. And apparently at CinemaCon, I think last year, they showed a bit of a teaser, which was completely different from what John Campia said, was very different to what we were shown with the trailer that we got now. So I guess there was some extra footage from when the movie was essentially going to be a full-length movie. And now it's kind of in the stages of being like a two-part movie where it's kind of like, okay, if the first movie does successful, which obviously it's going to do successful, I think this is going to be the first billion-dollar biopic ever. I mean, this isn't any discussion. This is Michael Jackson we're talking about. A man who is known around the world, beloved around the world by many people of many different backgrounds. And, that's amazing, just the impact alone that Michael Jackson brought to the world. It's just, it's great to have been able to experience, and even newer generations to experience, how magnificent, how talented, how well versed this man was to the world, in general. So obviously this movie is going to make $1 billion in the first part. It's going to be successful. So they might as well just go ahead and get that second part up and going. Give us Dangerous all the way up until his passing, and then there we go. That'll be the definitive biopic. So yeah, I really do have faith in this biopic. I think they're going to get it right. And I'm just going to say this. I think this biopic, yeah, granted, as Michael Jackson fans, we're going to want to see them talk about things that haven't been talked about before. And I think we are going to get some of that. But at the same time, I think some of the things that we already know is going to be new information to the general audience who isn't well versed in the Michael Jackson lore as we are. So I think that's just kind of something to keep in mind when it comes to expectations of, oh, are they going to go into, the reasoning for Speed Demon, why he wrote the song Speed Demon? I mean, that would be really cool because if you know the story behind that, he got a speeding ticket, and so that kind of gave him some inspiration to create the song Speed Demon. So it would be cool if we have a bit of a scene like that. Maybe we will. I don't know. But again, this is going to be a movie for the fans, but it's also going to be a movie for the general audience as well. And I think that's just some expectations to keep in mind. But I think obviously just from the reception of the teaser trailer, not the official trailer, but the teaser trailer, it seems like, people, even like casual people, right, on the internet who may know about Michael Jackson, who may love Michael Jackson, but maybe haven't had that spot to really come out and share their love about Michael Jackson, what they love about his music, the person, the man behind the creation of, what he's was able to do. It feels like the biopic has become that opportunity for a lot of people to kind of bring out that love, that admiration for Michael Jackson. And I think that's a really beautiful thing that it took something like this trailer to kind of bring people together in a sense of a way to kind of remember a man who did so much for the music industry, you know, and no disrespect to current artists or anything like that, but I think that my issue is that I feel like with certain fandoms, they try to negate or tear down what Michael Jackson has done for the music industry as a whole. And in order to put up their artist, and I think that's not a good approach because I feel like every artist has their peak, they have their valleys and lows, their highs and lows, and things like that. And I think that's something to be mindful of. I've never really been this whole person of, well, these current artists are much better than the older artists, because that's just not true. That's just not true, right? There we have the footage of just Michael just standing there for minutes at the time and fans just passing out. I mean, you see in the trailer, there's a quick shot of a fan literally passing out, and it's not just women. Men were passing out too. It That's the amount of gravitas and the amount of spectacle that Michael Jackson brought to not just the music industry, but as an entertainer, as a performer. He brought that aura, and I don't mean to quote it as a current thing, but that's literally what he had. And that's something you just can't replicate. You can't replicate that. You can't copy it. You can't duplicate it. You can't have AI recreate that. It's just not possible. And that's why with this, like, I know Jafar is going to do an amazing job. I know he is. He's going to do a phenomenal job, but I'm not looking for him to be Michael one to one. And I think with some of the criticism I've been seeing online with people saying, oh, his nose is too big, but I think at the same time, I don't know if people have really looked back at pictures of Michael during the Wiz era, during the off the wall era, before, his nose, he got changes to his nose. I don't think people are used to seeing him with just how he looked before, all of the stuff that happened. And I think that it's very important to just do your research and kind of see, like, okay, they're onto something with how his nose is, and how his nose was like during that era. So I think it's just something to be mindful of. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I want to get into your guys' comments because you guys are talking uh, a lot. So let's see what you guys are saying. What's up, Caden? What's up? Welcome to the chat. Yep, new MJ biopic finally. In Nostalgic Times, you said, my dad loves Michael Jackson and he got me into his music, and I can't wait to see the movie. See, that's actually awesome because my dad got me into Michael Jackson as well. Well, my mom and my dad, but mostly my dad because, I would always, as a kid, and I tell this story a lot, maybe I haven't told it before, but I would always go around, like, lounging around my dad's cassette tapes or CDs or DVDs or anything I could get my hands on because I was just so curious about media as a whole. I learned how to use a cassette player at a young age because I wanted to know, like, How does this work? How does that work? How does this work? What can I do with this? What can I do with that? And I remember the first time rewinding the tape back and the tape like spilling out of the cassette. And I didn't mean to do it on purpose, but you're a kid, so you make those mistakes, and it was just a live and you learn situation that I love fondly. And I said it before and I'll say it again, but I love physical media, and that's why physical media is such an important thing to me. But again, that's another topic for another day. I'm gonna get back to you guys' comments. You said they should do a Forrest Frank biopic, like in 10 years. They might do one. They might just do one. You never know. Anything's possible. You said Nostalgia Times. You said I heard there's going to be two parts because there's a lot, but I don't know if that's true. There is a lot of rumors about that right now, and actually, Lionsgate had an earnings call not too long ago, actually, where the question was asked about if they're going to do two parts, and they said that if the first movie does successful, which again I think it's quite obvious that the movie's gonna be successful because again, hello, it's Michael Jackson. Why would it not be successful? Worldwide household name, like come on, and things like that. They're gonna do a second part. So I think they need to go ahead and just do a second part and get part two out. 2027, maybe not wait too long. I don't know if they have any additional scenes that they would have to film. I know they had some additional filming a while ago. I don't know if maybe that has any plays into part two. That's something we'll have to find out. But I think there's going to be a part two. I think it's obvious that there's going to be a part two, and I hope that there's a part two because there's so much that you can go into after the bad era. Not just the stuff with the allegations, although that is a part that will be a part of the movie, but there's things that you can go into with the dangerous era that people don't know about, the history era that people don't know about, the blood on the dance floor era that people don't know about. You know, the eras after Invincible. What was he doing during, after Dangerous, and after History, and what was he doing after Invincible, up into This Is It. Like, there's so much that you could go into that I'm hoping that they would go into the second part. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. You said, and make the Your Ways Better dance canon in the movie. It's possible, like I said, anything is possible. Let's see. I'm trying to get back to your comments. I went too far. Or the Lemonades. Like I said, it's all possible. I watched Michael's Super Bowl performance on YouTube, and it was amazing. It's crazy that he stood for 2 minutes and fans were just going crazy. Like I said, Michael Jackson, he just had that presence to him, that prestige to him, that stage presence. Michael Jackson was a man of professionalism and perfectionism. And that's why he is so good. He was so good at what he did because he just made you feel like just him standing there. He made you feel every second, every moment of that. And he knew that he could do that with the crowd. He knew he could play into the crowd with that. And that's why his stage presence is second to none because he made you feel like you are with him, like you're on stage with him. He's not a one man show. And so, again, when you're able to do that, when you're able to incorporate the fans and play with the fans and get into the fans' psyche, it just makes you even more in tone and grounded into the audience, the people who pay to come see you, the people who pay to buy the shirts and the merch and the autographs and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It just makes it even more worthwhile. It went great if Queen had made a halftime show in the Super Bowl. I think if they would have done the Super Bowl halftime show years prior, I think Queen definitely would have headlined it, one for sure. Because Freddie Mercury, he was on top at the time as well, and obviously, a lot of people don't know this. Maybe some people do. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson were planning to do a song together. I don't know if they fully recorded it or not, but I think "State of Shock" was the name of the song. But They did obviously didn't finish it because I think Freddie had passed by that point. I might be wrong on that. I don't count me on that, but I think that's how the story goes from what I remember. So yeah, that would have been a really cool thing. And I also, if I remember correctly, I think Michael was one of the people who kind of signed on, like said like, "Hey, another one bites the dust. You should release the song." And obviously that was one of Queen's biggest songs. So again, you never know what you have until you put it out there into the world and you see just how much it means to people. He captures the 70s Michael Jackson very well. People forget. Exactly. He does. Like, he does. If you look one to one, side by side, you'll see. Hold on. I got somebody at the door. I will be right back. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I'm back. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yo, I didn't know it was his real voice. Yeah, that is Jafar's real voice. I've seen clips of Jafar, before, and he sounds just like him. Like he literally sounds like Michael. He sounds like Michael when he sings. If you want a good song of just kind of hearing Jafar's range, I'd say Got Me Singing is really good. There's also a clip of a long time ago he did, I think it was like Christmas. They were singing Christmas songs with the family. He was singing Christmas songs with the family, and you could hear his voice sounds like Michael there too. So again, I honestly feel like they couldn't have picked a much better person to play Michael. And plus, it's within the family. Like it just, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So again, I just think it's a really awesome thing to see Jafar like honor his uncle and play this role. And I said it before and I'll say it again. I know Jafar is going to do a phenomenal job. I I just by the trailer, by the mannerisms, the movement, all of that, you just feel like he really took time to not and nail what his uncle's just his whole uncle's presence, like he just took the time to nail it as much as he could. And I'm just, I couldn't be more happy. I really couldn't be more happy with the casting. I hate how people say that Jafar's voice for Michael is AI. It's not. It's all real. Exactly. A lot of people, and this is why AI is such a dangerous tool, is because now we're at the point now where if someone does a voice very well, people think it's AI. And that's just not the case. I just think that people who have the talent to voice other people, to sound like other people, just sound like other people, and it's not AI. But this is the time we've come in. Again, when you open the floodgates of AI, which I'm not, if you're supporting AI, hey, more power to you. But if you open the floodgates of AI and now you just have a whole bunch of people thinking, oh, it's just AI generated. It's like, no, people can actually sound like that. So yeah, you should watch some interviews. He's very similar in it. Yeah, I definitely will. Like, I definitely want to rewatch some interviews. There's so many clips on Twitter. I've been like on a whole Twitter like run of just people talking about the trailer, people talking about Michael Jackson. And there's video clips out there of just Michael using his deeper voice, like James Brown, when he went to his funeral. A lot of people were kind of shocked that Michael had like this deeper voice, but it's like, yeah, he has a deeper voice. It's just he uses his other, his more falsetto voice for just practicing in a way to keep practicing when he's performing and stuff. But Michael had a very like normal man voice. I don't know how people are shocked by that, but hey, it's really cool. Again, really cool to see people go down the Michael Jackson rabbit hole, which people are going had been going down since the trailer. I don't think they could have picked a perfect time to drop this trailer, and I'm just really happy about how things are looking. It's just the positivity and the support and just all of that online has just been really cool. Like this trailer has made people who literally have never talked about Michael Jackson a day in their life to come out and just start talking about Michael Jackson. So that is the amount of impact and effect that again this man has, even after all these years since he's passed. I only use Spotify. I use Spotify and now YouTube Music. It just all depends. There might be some here on YouTube. Yeah, there's definitely some here on YouTube. Don't know how to use a cassette tape. Well, I may have to teach you how to use one day. If you guys want to see me do a video about how to use a cassette tape, let me know. Maybe that's something I could do. Even if it's a whole movie, I could imagine the movie would be for 4 to 5 hours. Yeah, the movie definitely would be like at least 4 hours because again, there's so much that they would have to get through. Because again, Michael Jackson, he lived 50 years of life. That's a long time. That's a long time, especially to fit all that into 4 hours and even 5 hours. But again, we gotta realize this is a movie. It's not a documentary. If they did a whole docu series on Michael Jackson, they could go as long as they want to. But because this is a movie, there's gonna be some things that they won't be able to get to, unfortunately, that people would love to see. Um, so maybe this is just one of those things that maybe the estate after the biopic, maybe they need to go ahead and greenlight some kind of docu series that kind of goes deeper into Michael Jackson's life. Some things that we don't know about Michael Jackson. I think that would be a really cool docu series. The things we don't know about Michael Jackson, and they could go into maybe some of the things that he does on his off time, some of the things that he does, when he's performing or practicing it, or there's just maybe some life events that have happened that people don't really know too much about, like because Michael Jackson has met so many different celebrities and stuff. So there's just so much that you could go into with a docu series if you want to continue that momentum. So yeah, that is my suggestion. They should just do a docu series on some of that stuff that maybe they weren't able to put into the uh the movie, and even like doing a behind the scenes like documentary on the making of the Michael Jackson biopic. I think that would be really cool to do a documentary on the process and maybe show us some of the things that they originally had planned that they maybe got cut. And again, that just adds more momentum to just people wanting more Michael Jackson media. Um, and people would eat that up. People just would eat that up. So estate, listen, estate, if you want to take some of those ideas, if you want to get me on board of the estate, listen, I'll get you guys up to tooth and nail because I got ideas for days of things that you could do to just keep Michael's legacy going. But hey, that's another topic for another day. There's also a theory that Michael Jackson's still alive. I've seen that theory so many times, but honestly, I don't believe it. It's like the same thing that people say that Tupac is still alive and all that. I don't believe it. It's just another one of those conspiracy theories that people just say. But it is one of those things that it would be like, okay, well, what if he was still alive? But I honestly, I he's passed away, and I don't see it any further than that. I used to know a lot about Michael Jackson like 10 years ago, but it's been a while. I got to check out more of his story. Do so. Like he's written books. If you want to, read some of his books, he talks about some of the things that he's gone through the Thriller era, the bad era, dangerous era. Like he's written some books. There's some other good books out there. There's some good documentaries out there. I would suggest the Spike Lee documentaries, the Off the Wall, Thriller. There was one that they did for Bad. Those are two that I definitely implore watching. There's some more good Michael Jackson documentaries out there that I can't call the name of right now, but I would definitely suggest just looking more into. Again, if you want to know about the creative process, if you want to know more about, you know, as an artist, as a businessman. There's other YouTube channels out there. There's a lot of dope Michael Jackson creators out here on YouTube that, TikTok and everything, that they give you a lot of the history behind Michael and stuff. So the information's out there, the accurate information, not this tabloid fake stuff that people try to put out here as fact. The real deal stuff is out here. You just got to search for it, you know. There is a recorded song with MJ and Freddie Mercury on YouTube. It's recorded in '83. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was around the same time that because Thriller had just released then. So '83, I believe that was around because Victory Tour, if I remember correctly. Again, I'm not good with dates, but if I remember correctly, like Victory Tour was kind of starting at that point, which we actually saw in the trailer. If you see in the trailer, at the stadium, you could see like the Jacksons' actual logo from that era, which is really cool. It's really cool that they have like little details like that in the trailer that you can check out, and you're like, hey, I've seen that logo before. So, and I've actually watched a quite a bit of some of just concerts and tour footage from the Victory era, and even down to like Jafar having like the striped pants, the black and white striped pants from the Victory Tour. It's just you just see that they're going all into it. Like they're not playing around. They're not, just throwing stuff together just because it's Michael Jackson. Like they're literally showing you like here's some of the costumes that here's some of the costumes that maybe you don't know, you haven't seen before. Like the when he's in the office and he's drinking the orange juice, which again, another dope detail because Michael Jackson, he drank orange juice. So having him in the meeting with the blue and yellow, blue and orange, but I think it's more blue and yellow attire that he wears, again, just adds to, again, his gravitas, who he was. He didn't come into these meetings with a suit and tie on. He came in as he wanted to, as he wanted to present himself. So again, just really dope, really awesome. And yeah, the power of Michael Jackson. I just maybe I'll do a video, but Michael Jackson means so much to my life, and he inspires me to just not be like him, but to be whoever I want to be, whoever it is, whatever journey that I want to go on. I figure that out. That's what he inspires me to be, and I think a lot of people get it wrong with Michael Jackson. I feel like a lot of people want to be like Michael Jackson, but the thing is, there's only one Michael Jackson. There's only ever going to be one Michael Jackson, and I think if anything, he was trying to tell people, be you. Be who you are. Be in your element. And I promise you, people will gravitate towards you. And that's for me too. Like, I want to be me no matter what I've dealt with. I don't want to be like anyone else. I couldn't want to be like anyone else. I want to be like me. I want to be whoever it is that I decide to be in this life. And so that's the best advice that I could give anyone. Just be you. And I promise you, be in your element, and you'll be good. You know, who's going to get some tickets to see Michael? Oh, I will. As soon as those tickets go up for pre-order, I'm locked in on those tickets. Just know that. I just learned that Queen and Michael Jackson made a song. There must be more to life than this. Yes. Listen, there's a lot of unreleased Michael Jackson music out there. And I promise you, if you look hard enough, you're going to find some gems. Because I can tell you some gems right now off the Thriller era, the Dangerous era, the Bad era, that didn't make the cut of the albums that are so good, like really good. And even down to the demos. Some of the demos, like the demos are just, oh my God. Like the PYT demo, I like juggle in between the two because PYT, the finished version is good, but then the PYT demo version is good. The Human Nature demo version is good. And it's just like when you go down that rabbit hole, just like, okay, what songs that Michael had planned that we didn't get? There's so much. Another one comes to mind is someone put your hand out. Someone put your hand out is probably one of my favorite unreleased Michael Jackson tracks, although it was released on the Ultimate Collection. I still kind of find it as unreleased because you can't really find it on Spotify or anything like that. The only place you can find it is through YouTube. So I still kind of count it as unreleased, but that is another great one. Even down to the demo for that is great too. And I believe Michael recorded the demo for that. I believe during the Bad era. If I might be wrong on that, but I believe during the Bad era he recorded the demo for that. So I also love the demo too because he's clearly eating like some popcorn or chips and you can hear him eating it, but it's just so funny, but it's so him coded. And I think again that's just what makes him special is because again he was an artist who he went beyond means to show that you can make something, you can make magic out of these songs, you can make magic out of music, and you can tell a story. And even down with his craftsmanship with short films, he didn't call them music videos, he called them short films. When you think about Thriller, and I get it, Thriller is iconic, it's very iconic, and but when you really get to understand the foundation, the basis about how Thriller almost never happened, and how the music video was almost scrapped away, and all that stuff, then when you understand the history behind it all, it's just like, wow, like this man, like he really thought about all of this. He really had a well thought out plan, and he executed it, and he did it no matter what, no matter the circumstance, no matter what people told him, he wanted to do it. And so that's why short films, music videos were such a big thing. It's unfortunate that I feel like music videos in today's time has become a lost art because for a lot of people, if you had a good music videos, that was the way for people to discover your song, to discover your music through music videos. And unfortunately, the decline of MTV and BT and all these, other, music channels and places where music felt like music, uh, it's just sad how they just all just disappeared away. Like they're still around, but they're not focused on music anymore. And I'm hoping that one day we can get back to a place where the art of music videos can be prominent again, because I think they're with how technology is now, and I'm not talking about AI. What how technology is now with cameras and camera angles and color grading and special effects and all this stuff that you see YouTubers and content creators who are just one man show, one woman show, right? Doing all of these effects and stuff by themselves, through uh, stuff like Blender and all kinds of different other sources of just media. When you see this, it's just like imagine what people could do now with the good music video. And I really feel like if Michael Jackson was alive right now, I really do feel like he would have took all the technology minus the AI, because I feel like Michael wouldn't be agree in agreement with AI. He feels like AI would take a lot of people's jobs and just take away the creativity process behind it. But just imagine what he would do now with the music video. I just it would it's just insane to think about, and that's why I say, like, if you're a creator, like we're in the what some of the best times because there's just so much resources and so much that you could use to your disposal to just create something that has never been done before or wasn't possible all those years ago. So that's my advice to creators: just create, like, create. You never know where it may go. Me and my dad are gonna get tickets. Oh yeah, for sure. I literally knew not many Elvis songs before I saw the movie, so I got into more Elvis songs. But I've been listening to Michael Jackson and Jackson Five to know more of the songs for when. Yeah, like I said, you can go down a whole go down the discography of the Jackson 5, and I tell people all the time, there are some great gems in the Jackson 5. Some great gems. If you really want to understand the foundation of Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5 is the best place to go because you get to understand where he started. You see him build brick by brick at 8 years old, at 9 years old, where he was, where he his process was as a kid. Michael Jackson literally at Motown, when he was at Motown, he was going into other studios. He was observing Stevie Wonder. He was observing, you know, the Temptations and the Supremes and all these different artists that were at Motown because he wanted to understand the creativeness of music. And I don't think he I think he I think it was just not a better time than the Motown era just to see a lot of what Motown was doing at that time because you had again Stevie Wonder, The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, The Supremes, all these artists that were around in the 60s and 70s and things like that that he just soaked up the experiences of those artists and stuff, and it just gave him more of an appreciation, which by the way a lot of people may or may not know this, but Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder, they're related, they're cousins. So again, I hope that we see Stevie Wonder in the biopic. I think a scene or two because again, they've worked on songs together. They did two songs together actually. One on Stevie's album called Get It, and the other one Just Good Friends on the Bad album, which I know Just Good Friends is one of those songs that people don't like. Which I understand. It's not one of the strongest songs on the Bad album, but I still can appreciate just for the fact that you have two mastermind artists in Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder working on a song together. I just still appreciate it for that fact. Although I will say I think Stevie's best duet song is We Didn't Know with Whitney Houston. I love that song. I think that was a really great duet that they did together. But again, I still appreciate Get It. I still appreciate Just Good Friends just because of the two, again, creative masterminds behind the songs. I use Apple Music all the time, but I only use Spotify or anywhere else, but YouTube is technically unreleased music. Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up, Marvel fan? What's up, Josh? I can't make it to the stream. I hope you're doing good, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing good. Again, just talking about Michael Jackson with the crew and just hearing you guys talk about music in general. It seems like you guys love talking about music. I love talking about music. Music is my heart and soul, and I would love to do music stuff just in the future. Don't get me wrong, I love talking about movies, Marvel, DC, all that stuff that I always talk about, but music is something else that I really would love to get into my bag too, especially when it comes to Michael Jackson. There's just stuff about Michael Jackson, there's stuff about other artists that I listen to that I would love to dive into in the future. So, who knows if you guys like that kind of content, stick around because I may have an avenue for that. That might be something that I really have wanted to do all this time, but I just haven't had the avenue or the space to really do it. My favorite band is Twin Pilots that make real music videos. One of their songs on the new album made a music video that cost around $1 million. No joke. They know how to make good music videos in the modern days. Yeah, like I said, that's why I hope that people can re I hope there's a resurgence of the music video art because there's still so much greatness that you can do with a music video. I'm just glad that he didn't stop doing what he loved. Yeah, you know, Michael Jackson, he had vitiligo, he had lupus, you know, and you can see that like with images, you can see how his skin was starting to turn. But regardless of that, he still carried on. He still performed. And I think that's very admirable that no matter what you go through, even with something that you can't control, because you know people think, that's something you could definitely control. It's not anything you can control. When you have a skin pigmentation like that, it's just it's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is just try to adapt to it. And I think Michael adapted to that so much to the fact that it really did mess with his psyche, you know, further down in life. And it's really sad, and I don't really like going into it, but it's just really sad just kind of thinking about some of the things he went through in order to still entertain people, especially in America. And I'm going to go there. I feel like people in America, in my opinion, did not appreciate him like they should have until he passed. And I obviously there's fans in America who did, but I felt like later in the years, more of the fans like in other countries started to appreciate him a lot more. And you know, it's just really sad. But I think what I think what ultimately makes it so amazing now is just seeing the newer generations who are now experiencing Michael Jackson for the first time. I'm sure maybe you've come across a video of seeing a baby or a little child, you know, a small child just, you know, discovering Michael Jackson for the first time, and they're dancing to his music, and they're in, you just staring at the TV like they're in a trance because they're experiencing something for the first time. And I it makes it just comes back full circle, you know what I mean? It just comes back full circle just to know that a man who has passed away for more than a decade can now continue to bring that shock element and that factor of intrigue and interest in an artist who, again, I feel like wasn't appreciated as he should have been. It's just amazing to see. It really is. It's just amazing to see. Also, will Jafar Jackson be portrayed? Will portray Michael in his final years? From what I heard, I believe he did. I believe he did portray Michael in his final years. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but that's from what I heard. But again, don't count me on that. Also, don't mind me. I got food, so I don't want my food to get cold, especially when it's McDonald's. You know how McDonald's food is. It gets cold pretty fast. So, yeah. But I'm still listening to you. I'm still listening to you. Oh my God, are you serious? No, they did it anyway. Okay, that's fine. I can just take it off. They weren't supposed to do that. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm just seeing what you guys are saying. I'm more of a Michael Jackson fan, and Queen does some good songs. Yeah, like it. You know, we're all gonna have artists that we're more of a fan of than others, and that's okay. You know, um, but I think again, what makes it amazing is that music is something that brings people together, right? Regardless of the background, regardless of where you're from, where you live, where you've been at in your life, if you put on music, you put on Thriller, because I've seen it so many times. I can tell you stories of being at, you know, events where people are dancing or things like that. I can tell you stories of people of all generations, of all races and creeds and backgrounds. When Thriller comes on, when any Michael Jackson song comes on, People go out there and they dance, like they give it their all. So again, music is music, and Michael even said it himself. Music has no color. You know, anyone and everyone can discover music in such a beautiful way that it means a lot to you in ways that you may not have known. You know, you said I listen to Thriller once a day, all 31 days of October. I actually did I didn't do it this year, but a couple years ago when they had the Thriller challenge, I think they still have the Thriller challenge. People were gathering together, stream Thriller on, your streaming platform, call into the radios, tell them, hey, you want Thriller played. And that's what I did. I called the radio stations. I streamed Thriller on my phone for days and days at the time. My Spotify, at the end, my Spotify, at the end of the year, they always do like the Spotify overall, what you listen to and all that. I forgot what they call it. Thriller was the number one song because I had streamed it so much. For the fact that it was obviously it was going to be number one, but hey, I didn't mind that. So yeah, I'm actually half Spaniard, but I listen to more American 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2020s songs. Yeah, again, music is has no bounds, and that's what's so amazing about it. What's crazy and funny is that I can't moonwalk, but I can with my fingers. Yeah, yeah, I've been there. I used to do dance. That's something a lot of people don't know about. I used to do dance, so I would be able to know how to moonwalk and do a lot of the other moves that he would do. It's been a long time since I danced, so I tell you, I don't know if I still got it. Maybe one day I'll see if I still got it or something, but those were fun times. Those were fun times being able to dance. I would be that one kid at the school dances who would literally be dancing. And I know if there's anyone, any of my classmates listening or anyone, I don't know, who knows me, they can probably attest to it. So yeah, I'm all about having a good time. I'm not about being that person who's just on the wall. I want to. If there's music that I like, I'm gonna dance to it. I'm just that kind of person. So yeah, with Gypsy ancestry, I don't like any other song than English songs. Fair, that's fair. But yeah, while we're here, do you have in the chat, like, let me know what are some of your favorite Michael Jackson songs? You should make a Queen video, like a reaction to a Queen performance, or because I mean, I thought about doing music reactions. I feel like that's a risky business because you know how YouTube gets down. You know how YouTube gets down. It's bad enough sometimes with movie reactions. Sometimes it's kind of like you can get away with certain things, sometimes you can't. The Man in the Mirror and Bad, those are really good songs. I think we'll definitely hear those in the movie too. We gotta hear those. Those are iconic. Beat It, we're definitely gonna hear. We saw it in the trailer. We saw him in the Beat It outfit, and then they released a photo with him with the Beat It jacket on. So we're definitely gonna get Beat It. And it seems like they're gonna tell the story behind Beat It because a lot of people don't know this, but Michael Jackson was able to get the, can I say it on here? He was able to get the Bloods and the Crips together for the music video. They agreed to work together for Michael. And again, that just shows that just shows the amount of gravitas and power he had back then in his career to be able to do something like that. That's just on another level. I'm into older artists like Elvis, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Eagles, AC/DC, and a tiny bit of Nirvana. Okay. But I do like modern songs, just not a ton. Billie Jean, we're definitely gonna see Billie Jean. We got Billie Jean in the trailer, so that just tells me, yeah, it's a given. Billie Jean, Bad, The Way You Make Me Feel, Black or White, Remember the Time. Ooh, I love Remember the Time. Love the music video too. Shout out to Eddie Murphy. It'd be cool if we see a scene with Eddie Murphy and Michael. Because they were really tight with each other. Now, the second part comes out. I'm hoping we get Chris Tucker. Because Chris Tucker and Michael were another tight pairing with each other. Human Nature, that's another really good song. I love that song. Rock with You. Okay, yeah, I love Rock with You. I think Rock with You might be my favorite song. My favorite Michael Jackson song. Also, there's a YouTube channel. I don't know the name, but there's a YouTube channel who he does like breakdowns of the vocals, the layering and all that. But I don't remember his name. But I saw the video what he did with Thriller, with how they were able to layer the vocals for Thriller. Insane. Like insane. The Way You Make Me Feel, Beat It, Smooth Criminal. Smooth Criminal, another goated one. Music video, iconic. I'm at short film. Short film, iconic. Um, what else is there? I can tell you some of my favorite ones. Obviously, Rock with You, Remember the Time, Heaven Can Wait is another good one. Break of Dawn, PYT, Human Nature. If we're talking about unreleased, Someone Put Your Hand Out, um, Happy Birthday Lisa, which I know that's like wait, Happy Birthday Lisa, but to give you some context, Michael Jackson was actually in an episode of The Simpsons. Um, and I love The Simpsons. I'm still bummed that Disney Plus has removed that episode. I think Disney Plus, I think you guys need to put that episode back on Disney Plus because that's one of my favorite Simpsons episodes of all time. Um, but in the episode, it's Lisa's birthday, and Bart's trying to write a song for Lisa. We're trying to give a gift to Lisa. So Michael couldn't sing the song. They had to get someone else to, but there's an unreleased version where he sings the song for Lisa. Really dope. So I definitely recommend checking out that episode if you want to know. It's season 9, episode 1. It's called Stark Raving Dad. It is the premise of it is funny because it's just Homer going to his job and he makes a mistake and his shirt obviously is usually white but it's pink, so they send him to like a rehab mental institute, and inside the guy that his inmate is a guy who thinks he's Michael Jackson, but he's not Michael Jackson, but he sounds like Michael Jackson. So it's a whole oh, hold on. It's a whole oh oh my goodness. Don't clip this. Oh, so embarrassing. But it's a whole thing if you guys want to check out that episode. Really cool. But yeah. Do you like Bohemian Rhapsody? The song or the music or the movie? So we were talking about the movie. I thought the movie was cool, but the song, I like the song. I'm just checking to make sure the stream is good. Seems like it. Everything good? I believe everything's good. Just want to make sure. Yeah, but if you're asking about the song, yeah, I like the song. I think the song was really cool. Is there anything else like you guys want to talk about with the biopic and stuff? Don't mind me. Like I said, I'm eating at the current moment. My favorite Queen song is "Don't Stop Me Now." I hear that song all the time at work. All the time at work. No, Michael doesn't have kids with Madonna. That's not true. That's not true. Michael and Madonna were gonna work together, but something happened with that. I don't know the full context, but I think Madonna was doing way too much, and Michael was kind of like, "Yeah, you kind of." I don't know if we're gonna work together, so I think it was something with the Dangerous album. I think they were gonna work together, but they didn't. Paris Jackson, yeah, that's his daughter. Michael has 3 kids: Paris, Prince, and they call him Blanket, but I I don't want to call him just Blanket because he has an actual name. So I'm gonna look it up. And they call him BG. I think that's his name, BG. I might be saying it wrong though. Yeah, he has three kids, and those are his kids. I know people try to say like, "Oh, those aren't his kids," but those are his kids. Those are his kids. She doesn't look like him. She's a adopted. No, that's his real daughter. Those are his. Like I said, those are his real kids. You know. Oh my god, I'm getting way too many notifications right now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm a mess. Stop. Okay. All right. Notifications inbound. I'm just getting a ton of notifications, so don't mind me, my phone falling again. This is the last time I try to do a stream. The last time I tried to do a stream on my PC, for some reason, it's been acting up. So now I've kind of resorted back to doing my phone again, which I don't mind, to be honest with you. I don't mind it. But yeah, do you guys have like any good stories about the first time you? Hey, Kendrick, what's up, man? What's up? Love the live so far. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming by. I gotta ask you the question, man. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song? You said my favorite biopic show is The Chosen. I don't think I've seen that before. But I could tell you my favorite. It's not a series, but my favorite biopic, like two-parter thing, the New Edition story. I love the New Edition story. It's iconic, right? If you watch the New Edition story, you know, you get to learn about New Edition, how they started out as kids before they became big and some of the things they went through. And New Edition is just a really good group. Really good group. To me, I feel like without New Edition, you don't have New Kids on the Block, you don't have In Sync, you don't have like these other bands that populate after. I feel like obviously Jackson 5, the Jacksons were the blueprint before New Edition, but I feel like New Edition revitalized that group element of starting out young and then kind of evolving into artists more and more as you grow older. So I always try to give New Edition their props too, because again they revitalized the boy band, in my opinion, the boy band gravitas into that modern day, like 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s era. So yeah, The Chosen is about Jesus before he died. Interesting. I have to check it out. I have to check it out. Another good one is obviously the Temptations. The Temptations one, although The Temptations one isn't accurate fully because it's more the perspective of one member of the group than as opposed to the other members. So yeah. Another one, although it's not, it is a biopic, but at the same time, it's not. Piece by Piece by the Pharrell story, really good. And I've talked about it before. Pharrell is one of my other favorite artists. I love Pharrell. I love his music. I love his, you know, his mindset, his creative process as well. Really cool. I mean, it's Legos. Like, how could you go wrong with Legos, right? So, really cool. I wish I went to seen that in theaters, and I regret that I didn't. That's a tough question. You said that's a tough question. I have a list of MJ songs I love. I will go with Smooth Criminal. That's a good one. That is a good one. Iconic, iconic short film. I mean, even when you learn about like the inspirations behind it, like Michael Jackson loved musicals like West Side Story, and even his outfit was inspired by a musical. I just don't remember the name of the musical and stuff. He really loved musical theater and Charlie Chaplin. Um, Another thing that a lot of people don't know about Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. He was big into comics. He loved Marvel. He loved DC. You know, um, Sonic. I believe Mario as well. So he was a big. I don't want to call him a nerd because I think calling someone a nerd is just kind of. I'd never really liked that term, but Michael was someone who he loved, the comic book stuff, the video game stuff. So again, no way he wanted to be Spider-Man. That's interesting. Yeah, he actually was going to buy out Marvel from Stan Lee, but Stan Lee said no. Michael wanted to play Spider-Man too, as well, but it didn't happen. Um, but Stan Lee understood Michael. Like that's one thing I can say. One good thing, not one good thing, but that's one of the cool things about Stan Lee that I appreciate is that he never talked down on Michael. Like he understood like Michael. He obviously loved the characters. He was a kid at heart, so he understood. So shout out to Stan Lee. Anthony, what's up? How are you doing, buddy? I saw Welcome to Derry. It's scary. I've been watching Welcome to Derry too. I haven't seen the newest episode and I need to catch up, but I'm really enjoying Welcome to Derry so far. It's really good. I recommend it. I really recommend it. If you like Pennywise or just spooky, scary stuff in general, Welcome to Derry is really good. You're looking forward to Michael. The term is geek. Yeah, that would probably be a better term. I just don't like saying geek either. I don't know. Maybe that's just because I've been made fun of in school and stuff for being a nerd and a geek, and to me, I just although it has positive connotations, I think people have went and turned those words into negative connotations, and I guess that's why I feel weird calling someone else that. just because I've experienced that. So I just like calling I just like saying people are just well versed into like the comic realm or the video game realm or stuff like that, because it's just people just they get into their bag, and I like seeing people get into the bag. You know, do what you enjoy. Stan was the man. Yes, he was, man. Um, Excelsior always. Stan Lee's another person I miss. I miss Michael Jackson, but Stan Lee is another one that when he passed, it hurt me. And when when Michael passed, like I'd say about 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old. I didn't want to go to school. I really didn't want to go to school. I was so hurt. It's just one of those deaths that the whole world just stopped like that, right? Like obviously I've never been through or experienced like a world traumatic experience like some of the things that happened before I was born. So to a lot of us, Michael Jackson passing away was like that first ever like, wow, this is like serious. Like the whole world is grieving right now. And Michael Jackson's death was so powerful and felt throughout the world that there was an ongoing war going on. The war literally stopped. Like everybody just stopped. Like that's how you know you impacted the world in a way that is just amazing, simply amazing. And to this day, even now, people look back on that day. People remember exactly where they were. Because at first, TMZ broke the news, and it was kind of like, TMZ, I don't really believe you. But then more and more reports started coming out, and then people were saying, oh, Michael Jackson, he's been, unresponsive. They're trying to wake him up, trying to resuscitate him, and stuff like that. And then later on, you get the news Michael Jackson has passed away, and again, it sent shockwaves throughout the world. People were in school. People left school early. People left work early. Like this man, just his passing just really sent a whole shock throughout the world. And I'm hoping that if they do make part two, which again I feel like they will, I really want them to show when we get the scene of him passing away. I know that's going to be a heartbreaking scene. I know that's just going to be a heartbreaking scene. But I want people to understand how much this man meant to the world when he passed away, how shocking it was for everybody. And I really hope they show the effects of that, how powerful and just absolutely saddening it was. And I hope they do it well, just to show that effect, that this we're not talking about just a performer. We're not talking about a singer, and we're not talking about a choreographer, a philanthropist. We're talking about a human being who he just wanted to bring joy to the world. He wanted to bring the world together through music and through dance and through world problems that were going on, and through again philanthropy, through him wanting to help the world be better, be a better place. And he didn't just sing these songs, he didn't just write these songs, he was about the songs that he wrote. And that's why I say, there will never be another Michael Jackson. People can try to say that they are, people can try to say that they want to be, but there will never be another Michael Jackson. And there doesn't need to be, because Michael Jackson is who he was himself. And I said it early in the stream, and I'll say it again, be yourself. Don't try to look at Don't try to compare yourself. Don't try to look at what someone else has done and try to compare it to your own. Be yourself. Go on your own journey. Learn who you want to be better for you. And I promise you, people will gravitate towards you. And I'm speaking from experience because as someone who went to school so much of his life trying to fit in, through middle school and a little bit into high school, and then just kind of accepting, like, this is who I am. This is who I was meant to be. I'm meant to be who I am. Um, you start to realize that people appreciate you more for just being yourself, and that's why people. Michael Jackson's so grounded because people appreciate who he was, not just because he was a singer, not just because he had all this money. Real people, the real people who knew Michael Jackson, appreciated him for just being him, his personality. That's what matters. So, yeah, I think being called a nerd is a compliment. It's like in another way for saying you're smart, but people take it the wrong way. Yeah, and I think that might also be the case too. Is that something that is positive can to some people can be taken negatively, and maybe that's something I got to work on. I'll admit that's something maybe that I have to work on within myself. Is like if someone calls me a nerd or a geek, not take it personally. Just kind of be like, okay, yeah, that is a cool thing. I need to wear it on my sleeve. So you make a good point, nostalgic times. Michael Jackson's songs should be in future X-Men movies. That would be cool. That would be cool. I was 2 years old when Michael Jackson died. Oh wow. So, you didn't really feel the effects of it then because you were just two. You're a little baby. So, but if you were, like I said, 5, 8, 9 years old, a teenager, adult, elder, you felt it. You felt the effects of it. Mine was also the death that broke me the most was Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, that was another shocking death that I talk about it. I've talked about it before in past streams, but when Chadwick Boseman did that video, and you could see like he had slimmed down, his face, looked again very very slimmed down, and he lost a lot of weight. There were people making fun of him, but I didn't make fun of him. I was concerned. I was concerned for his health, because he just didn't look like himself. And so, there were some people who thought, like, okay, maybe he's doing a movie role and he had to slim down for that. Little did we know he was going through something. Even when he was doing Black Panther, he was going through something. And I really don't want to retread it, but this is why I say that continuing his legacy within the character T'Challa is why it's such an important thing, and that's all I'll say about it. I don't want to make it a recast T'Challa stream, but I still stand by my opinion on he should be recast. You should keep that legacy of that character going because he means a lot to a lot of people. Just like in the same way with Jafar playing his uncle, it means a lot to a lot of people because a lot of people loved, grew up, and adored Michael Jackson. So I still see it in the same vein as that. So yeah, mine was also I don't know if I'm a nerd geek. Yes, I don't know if I'm high IQ. Understandable. Honorable mentions for me that broke me was Stanley, Betty White, Val Kimmer, but Chadwick Boseman hit the most. Yeah, yeah. Those deaths that you mentioned were definitely hard hitting ones. Another hard hitting one for me was Prince, and I love Prince. I love his music, and I could talk about Prince in another stream. Maybe that's something I'll do, but Prince was another artist. Man, there will never be another Prince. You know, um, I could talk on and on about Prince if I really wanted to. And I think about it now, it's such a bummer that we never got a collab with Michael and Prince. That never happened. They had conversations, they talked with each other. A lot of people think that they had this rivalry against each other, but it was never that. It was just a friendly fire competition, is from what I see it. In my opinion, I they obviously had a respect for each other. They obviously did. Because when Michael passed, Prince was, on some of his tours and concerts, he was doing tributes to Michael. So they obviously had a lot of respect for each other. Um, it's just unfortunate and sad that we never did get a chance to see them work together, because I think that that would have broke the internet. Just knowing that these two powerhouse artists finally did the impossible and worked together on a song. Um, so yeah, maybe in an alternate timeline, they finally did get a chance to work together. That's something we'll never know, but I can't help but think about it and just think about what if, the what ifs of it all. This, hey Solomon, what's up? This is about to be the biggest movie of 2026. Hey, I would not argue with you if you said that, because honestly, I feel the same way. This is the biggest, obviously going to be one of the biggest, but obviously for a lot of people, this is the biggest movie of 2026, and rightfully so, because again, it's Michael Jackson. What are we talking about? The greatest to ever do it, the greatest of all time. You know, gotta go eat dinner. I'll be right back. All good. Like I made an IW test. I was like 135. The others say 110. I don't really know. Well, just know this. Just know this. You're smart in all the ways that you know and all the ways that you maybe don't know. And life is all about self discovery. When you learn more and more about yourself, you start to appreciate even the small little things about yourself that you didn't appreciate beforehand. I'm in that era right now where I'm just trying to figure out what it is about myself I like, what it is about myself that I appreciate. And so you just have to think about the little things. You have to think about the things that you oftentimes don't pay attention to. You start to pay attention to them. But exactly, yeah, Michael Jackson, like, come on now. Like, yeah, come on. Like, what are we talking about? That's what I'm saying. The Lionsgate call with them saying, like, oh, if the first movie does successful, then we'll do the second part. Like, come on now. Y'all know the first movie is gonna be successful. Like, what are we talking about? Like, go ahead and get the second part up and going. Like, what are we talking about? Go ahead and set that one for 2027, so you can go ahead and run it back again. Go ahead and make another $1 billion. And then that way Michael can all together with both movies collectively make $2 billion. If it doesn't make more, it might make more. It might beat one of the Avengers films by the end of its run. We don't know. So I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room to work with. And I know people are kind of be like, well, the Mario movie's coming out, but and don't get me wrong, Mario is a household name, but Mario is not Michael Jackson. I hate to be that person, but Mario is not Michael Jackson. But don't that doesn't mean that Mario won't be able to make another billion, because I think it will. But I think also at the same time, Michael will also be able to make a billion just as fast, just as fast, if not faster than Mario. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. My phone keeps moving, so apologize. I apologize for that. Notifications. Oh my god, the notifications. Insane right now. The notifications. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you guys have any other thoughts or comments or questions, let me know. Um, I'm not gonna stay on too long, but I thought it would be nice to talk about the trailer, talk about Michael Jackson as a whole, music, all that good stuff. Because I never really get a chance to do this. And I thought this is the perfect opportunity, you know. So yeah, this just gives me the opportunity to do more of this kind of content in the future because I definitely want to. There's a video that I wanted to do a while back when X-Men before X-Men 97 came out actually. There was a video that I was going to do about the history of the X-Men theme, but I never got around to doing it. But it was one of the video ideas on the list that I had that I scrapped. But maybe I can bring it back if you guys want to know about the history of the X-Men theme song and how, it almost didn't even happen and all that stuff, let me know because I would love to do a video on that at some point. Maybe I can do a video like that before season 2 comes out. Or just on a random day when I don't even have a video planned. Not that I've been doing, not that you can obviously see, not that I've been doing videos as of much recently because of work, and I'm always tired with work now, and I just need to get a good schedule back up again so that way I can get back into the fray, as Superman would say. Oh, snap. Okay. That's interesting. You know what's funny? We were just talking about Mario, and now Nintendo Direct for the Mario movie. They've announced it for November 12th of 2025, and it's going to premiere a trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie too, a new trailer. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. So I'll definitely be checking that out. I wish I could do it live, but again, I don't have the best setup, so ah, bummer, 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 technology bummer. But yeah, Val Kimmer hurt me. Yeah, I know Val Kimmer was another hard hitting one for a lot of people. Paul Rubens was another one. I loved Pee Wee Herman as a kid growing up. To me, Pee Wee Herman, for me, Pee Wee Herman was SpongeBob before SpongeBob. He really was. Like if you really look at the similarities and the personality, the silliness, the quirkiness of it all, that's SpongeBob is literally Pee Wee Herman under the sea. Um, and I wasn't trying to do a Little Mermaid reference, but here we are. So yeah, and he also voiced Ivor in Minecraft Story Mode, which I loved Minecraft Story Mode. I know a lot of people weren't too good on the game, but I liked Minecraft Story Mode, and I thought he did a really good job in that game too. So I think there's a documentary on Paul Rubens too, but I haven't seen it yet. So shout out to him. But there's so many like deaths. Like Whitney Houston's another one that comes to mind. That one really got me. Chester from Lincoln Park was another one. I mean, there's so many deaths that they're just so shocking that you don't expect it. You don't expect that to happen, And I see it all the time, with Michael Jackson. People say like Michael Jackson should still be here. And in a way he should be. He should still be here. Like he should still be able to see these current artists and maybe he's still doing some music here and there, maybe he's still touring, maybe there was a chance that Michael Jackson and Prince would go on tour together, maybe there was a possibility of that. Could you just imagine and think about this scenario. You have a tour. You got Michael Jackson, you got Prince, you got Stevie Wonder, you got Whitney Houston, And I'm just thinking about some other artists. Could you imagine all of them on a one big tour together? Like that is just that would have been insane. Like that would have sold out so much. Just the possibilities of what could have been, you know, it kind of hurts now just thinking about all those possibilities because there's so many things that could have happened, you know. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end the stream in a few. So if you're here, if you're watching this on replay, I want to say thank you for just kind of giving me the opportunity to get in my bag about something different this time around. We're gonna be doing some other streams on our regularly scheduled stuff, but I wanted to just go into another avenue of the entertainment field to talk about a man that has inspired me so much throughout my life to just be myself and be in my element and just to continue to inspire others and help others and bring positivity even when times feel tough because trust me, times are tough on people. I'm sure it's tough on everybody right now. I'm sure everybody is going through some kind of struggle, some kind of battle. But I just want to let you know that this battle will not be a forever thing. This battle will not be something that you spend the rest of your days feeling this dark cloud over you. Things will get better. And I know it's a very cliche thing to say, but I really and truly believe that things will get better. I feel it, you know, I feel it. And I just want everybody to be their best selves. I just want everybody to learn to know that, you know, regardless of what you go through, this is only going to make you better. This is only going to make you stronger. And this is only going to give you more and more of an understanding and perspective on life as a whole. And I just want to thank everybody for that. I want to thank people who came in the stream, maybe people who didn't even know my name, who maybe watched, you know, in the background. I just want to say thank you because at the end of the day, you guys just make me who I am. And you make me better. And I want to lock in and focus in and get back to what I'm passionate about, and it's this channel. It's talking about the things I'm passionate about, talking about the things that you guys are passionate about, and just having these great, mature, respectful conversations. Because one thing that I can say about this community that we have together is that we're respectful. You know, we may not agree on everything that we say. You guys may not agree with everything that I say. But when we're able to have an understanding of each other's perspectives in a respective way and not call each other names or put people down, it just makes the world a better place. And I hope that I can maybe bring more of that awareness to other aspects of life and places just as a whole because there's so much that we can do together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. I can't wait. So yeah, I didn't mean to preach, I didn't mean to give a sermon. I just it happens, like you said, Carson, king of pop, he will always be the king of pop, forever the king of pop. And like I said, to know that we had a man of such caliber in our lifespan, in our universe, in our time, I couldn't be more thankful of that. I couldn't be more thankful of the art, the moments, the cinema, the spectacle, all that. Like I couldn't be more grateful. And maybe I'll go deeper into detail and I'll tell you guys more about why Michael Jackson means so much to me as a person. But I just want to say, if he is hearing this, thank you. Um, Thank you. We see you. We see the work that you've done. We see the things that you've gone through, and we just appreciate your legacy. We appreciate it, and I hope you know that your nephew. He's gonna kill it. He's gonna do a good job. He's gonna make you proud. Everybody involved with this film is gonna make you proud, and I hope he knows that. Now I feel like he does, but sometimes it's just better to hear things from people. That's another thing that I learned in life is sometimes it's just better to hear things from people. Even if you may know the answer to them, sometimes it's good to still know and hear those things from other people anyways. So yeah, with that in mind, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the stream. This won't be the only time that I talk about Michael Jackson or the biopic or anything related, music related. We'll try to talk more. I know you guys were talking about Queen. It would be cool to talk about Queen. The legacy of Queen, and how they were able to bring the world by storm. Maybe you guys want to talk about, I don't know. There's so many musical artists that we could talk about that I would love to get into that bag with you guys. If you guys want to go down that avenue sometimes, just let me know. And we'll try to get something there. But yeah, as always, um, if you're new, check out the channel. I did a reaction to the Michael trailer. I believe it's at getting close to 1,000 views, which is really dope. That would make the Michael Jackson trailer one of my highest viewed reactions on a channel, which means a lot to me. Um, really means a lot to me. So again, thank you. Um, and I have bunch of other content. So if you like Marvel, you like DC, you like movies in general, all that good stuff, then I'm one of the places for that. Perfect Peace, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you everybody for stopping by. I usually shout out everybody, so I'm gonna do that right now, just to let you guys know that how much I appreciate you guys for just always coming through, into the streams or on the videos or on whatever it is that I do. I just want to let you guys know, like I really do appreciate it. So Pat, shout out to Pat for coming through. Shout out to Caden always coming through. Shout out to Nostalgic Times for always coming through. Let's see who else we got here. Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to you for coming through. I'm definitely gonna get those tickets to see Michael. It is a must. The 6-7 thing. Can someone explain to me the 6-7 thing? I never understood that, but I see it's a popular thing. Marvel fans, shout out to you for coming through. I know you weren't able to stay, but I'm sure you'll watch it on the replay. So shout out to you. Let's see what else we got here. I'm looking through the chat right now. My brother, my boy, Kendrick, shout out to you for coming through. We definitely have some more things to talk about. Hopefully, we can see. Hopefully, this week, I don't know if the movie theater is working now, but hopefully, maybe we can try to plan something. Um, to go see the Predator Badlands together. So I'll hit you up on that. Also, Perfect Peace, I'll hit you up on that too. See if we can try to get something this week if we can. I think that would be pretty cool to go see that. Anthony, shout out to Anthony as well, coming through as always. I hope you're enjoying Welcome to Derry. I definitely got to catch up on the episodes, but I'm really enjoying the show so far. So it's always great seeing you here. Um, Solomon, my boy Solomon, shout out to you for coming through. Again, like you said, It's Michael Jackson. Come on, what are we talking about? Like, go ahead and green light part two. Just go ahead. You know you want to, Lionsgate. Carson, shout out to my boy Carson Kelly for coming through. As always, I perfect peace as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the support. And yeah, what a great stream. What a great time to honor a man who, again, brought so much to the music industry, brought so much laughter and joy and excitement to the world. And there will never be another. There will never be another. So, yeah, if you guys have a goal, you guys have a dream, do it, go for it, make it happen, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't. You go for it. Shoot to the stars, shoot to the moon, shoot to the multiverse if you want to. The possibilities are endless. We have this life for a reason. And we have to make choices to figure out what it is in this life we actually want to do. How far do we want to go? Sometimes we want to go small, sometimes we want to go larger than life. And that's okay. Just as long as you remember who you are, you'll be fine. So, with that in mind, big love to you all. I hope you guys have a great week, a good night. I'll see you again. I'll probably do a stream on Wednesday. We might do a stream on Wednesday. I might do a video this week too. I'm not sure yet. Well, actually, I'm gonna have to if the Mario trailer is coming out. So expect that. But yeah, with that in mind, big love to you all and peace out. Okay, now how do I end this? How do I end this? I don't even know how I end this.